Today, we're talking about growth. Not how to grow faster and not how to scale harder, but how to grow in the right order. Because most problems in business leadership don't come from lack of effort. They come from growth happening out of sequence. Leaders hire before clarity. They chase revenue before stability. They try to improve team performance before strengthening accountability. And what's the result? More pressure, lower team engagement, and overall, a heavier leadership load. If you lead a team inside a business, whether you're a business owner or a functional leader, this episode will help you strengthen accountability, team engagement, and team performance without increasing your leadership load. Today, I'm walking you through the high impact growth path, the sequence that protects team performance, strengthens ownership and accountability, and creates scalable leadership. Welcome to the High Impact Leader Podcast, a leadership podcast for business owners and leaders who want self-managing teams, stronger accountability, and scalable performance without carrying everything themselves. If you're ready to focus on leadership design, not just effort, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Brendan Rogers. Now let's come back to growth. You might be a business owner, or you might be a leader responsible for a team, a department, or a function inside a larger organization. But the experience is often the same. Revenue grows, headcount increases, and expectations rise. Yet accountability somehow gets weaker. Decision-making still flows upward. Team performance fluctuates. And you find yourself leading your team while still managing up at the same time. You're responsible for results. You're responsible for people. You're leading through people. But it still feels like everything relies on you. That's not a capability problem. It's not a motivation problem. It's a leadership design problem. Because growth without sequence creates stress. And stress quietly erodes team engagement and performance. One of the leadership patterns I see repeatedly in this leadership podcast and in the work we do with business owners and leaders is that growth often happens out of order. Leaders try to scale impact before stabilizing the foundations. The high impact growth path is a 7-stage sequence. Each stage builds the structural conditions for the next. When leaders follow the sequence, team performance strengthens naturally. Decision-making improves. Accountability becomes clearer. When the sequence is ignored, leadership becomes reactive. And here are the 7 milestones. Number 1, build stability. Number 2, define purpose and people. Number 3, systemize for consistency. Number 4, develop capability. Number 5, create rhythm. Number 6, multiply impact. And number 7, design legacy and freedom. Now this isn't theory. These are observable leadership patterns that show up across industries. And when applied properly, they allow leaders to build self-managing teams without relying on constant supervision. Let's dive into step 1, build stability. Before you grow anything, you have to stabilize. You need financial clarity. You need margin awareness. You need cash discipline. And you need capacity visibility. For business owners, this means understanding where profit is created and where it leaks. For leaders inside organizations, it means understanding budgets, operational constraints, and workload capacity. You cannot build scalable leadership on unstable foundations. Revenue growth without margin discipline reduces freedom, and instability quietly damages team engagement. Even if nobody talks about it, stability removes blind spots, and blind spots are expensive in business leadership. Let's dive into step 2. Define purpose and people. So once stability exists, the next step is clarity, strategic direction, role ownership, clear expectations, and clear standards. This is where leadership clarity begins. Clear roles create ownership and accountability, and without it, decision-making stalls. Without it, teams default to activity instead of outcomes. Many leaders hire before doing this work, But hiring before clarity multiplies the confusion. High impact leadership always starts with clarity, because when expectations are clear, accountability becomes natural instead of forced. Here's step 3, systemize for consistency. Now you protect standards through structure. Documented workflows, clear processes, defined pricing logic, quality checkpoints. Now this isn't bureaucracy, it's protection. Without systems, performance relies on effort. With systems, performance relies on structure. And structure strengthens accountability. This is also where self-managing teams start to become possible. Self-managing teams don't emerge from trust alone. They emerge from clarity plus structure. When the system supports people, team performance becomes consistent. Let's go into step 4, develop capability. Only now do you focus on capability, leadership one-to-ones, delegation boundaries, autonomy levels, and your bench strength. This is where leadership shifts from doing the work to leading through people. Many leaders assume capability comes from hiring stronger people, but it doesn't. Capability grows when expectations are clear and systems support performance. Capability without systems creates friction. Systems without capability create stagnation. But when both exist, leadership load starts to drop because accountability sits with the team and not just with the leader. And here's step 5, create rhythm. This is where you introduce cadence, weekly operational meetings, monthly financial reviews, quarterly strategic resets, visible scoreboards. This creates a leadership rhythm. Leadership rhythm replaces urgency with structure. Without rhythm, everything feels reactive. With rhythm, decision-making becomes steadier. Rhythm also reduces the need for constant intervention. It stabilizes expectations. It stabilizes accountability. And it gives leaders a predictable operating system for team performance. This is step 6, multiply impact. Only now do you expand. New services, increased capacity, strategic hiring, and margin improvement. Now notice where this sits, at level 6. Most businesses try to multiply impact before stabilizing the first 5 stages. Scaling before stability increases chaos. Hiring before clarity multiplies confusion. And growth without leadership design increases your leadership load. But when the foundation's right, growth becomes structured. And team performance improves without leaders pushing harder. And the final stage is step 7, design, legacy, and freedom. The final stage is about optionality, succession pathways, enterprise value, time ownership, strategic autonomy. For business owners, this means a business that can operate without constant involvement. For senior leaders, it means a team that performs without constant supervision. And this is where high-impact leadership becomes visible. Not because the leader works harder, but because the system works. So in summary, most leadership stress isn't caused by ambition. It's caused by disorder. The high-impact growth path moves through stability, clarity, systems, capability, rhythm, impact, and legacy. And each stage prepares the conditions for the next. If you skip one, accountability can weaken. Rush one, and team performance becomes unstable. Follow the sequence, and leadership becomes lighter. This is how business owners and leaders create scalable leadership and strong teams without carrying everything themselves. And that's what high-impact leadership looks like in practice. So here's some powerful closing questions to consider. Where in your business are you trying to multiply impact before you've built stability? Where are you expecting accountability without first designing clarity? Because that's where your leadership load is hiding. And that's where your next leadership breakthrough lives. Now, if you want help unpacking this properly, this is exactly what we work through inside the High Impact Leader Club. It's a space for business owners and leaders who want stronger team engagement, clearer ownership and accountability, and scalable leadership without carrying everything themselves. Inside the club, we unpack leadership patterns, strengthen leadership clarity, improve decision making, and build leadership rhythm across your organisation. No urgency, no pressure, just structured thinking applied properly. You can go to leaderbydesign.au/club and check out what's inside. Design your leadership, build your team, lead with impact.